I chose the data set I was interested in, and it pulled it right into Excel for me. From there, you can do some additional things like filter and shape your data. So, for instance, there's some columns here that I'm not really interested in. And this actually wasn't the data set I wanted. This should work, though. So if I'm going to right-click at the top column, I'm going to say Remove. I'm not interested in the score. I'm not really interested in the runner-up or this key that's been assigned to it. And frankly, the year either. What I really want to see is the locations of the past winners plotted on a map. So once I've removed the columns that I didn't need, I can then click this Done button in the bottom right-hand corner. It's going to filter the data set that had pulled in. And now that I've done that, I can go back to my Apps for Office, select my Bing Maps app that I've previously installed. Give that a second to think. Okay, so now I'm going to select the column of data I'm interested in. So I'm going to select my data values here. And then I'm going to click this little button here, this little point. I'm going to say Plot the locations. And it's going to give me a little warning. It's going to say it can't quite map a few of these Tokyo locations. We're just going to close that out. But you can see that you've got a quick way to easily map any data points that you bring in on a map. So you can then do things like zoom in if we're interested in, where are the teams located that have won the Little League World Series in the United States. We can quickly visualize that on a map, and we can see that there's a few hot spots here. It seems like over in the northeast, over by myself here, down in the southeast, over in the Alabama-Georgia region, and then I'd say probably down in the California region. It looks like in the three corners of the country is where the majority of the United States Little League World Series champions are coming from. Okay, so that's our Bing Maps app. Let's take a look at one other one. This one I find really neat. This is called Create Time Dimension. And if you've ever started building a business intelligence application, you'll quickly find out that you need a date table, or sometimes it's referred to as a timetable, in your solution so that it allows you to, let's say, slice and dice your sales by years and months and other date or time attributes. So if you don't already have that table in your data set, you can quickly get one using this Create Time Dimension Apps for Office app. So what it does is I clicked it, and it's going to open up this little window on the right-hand side of Excel, and it simply tells me what do I want my start date to be, what do I want the end date to be, what language should we tailor it for, we're going to just choose English, and when the week starts on. So if your week starts on Monday, sometimes you might have it start on a Sunday. We'll just leave the defaults for now. And I'm going to hit Insert Data beginning in current cell. And there you go. You got yourself a date table very quickly that you could then integrate into, you could use it into a PowerPivot model you could integrate it into. You could use then something like SSIS if you wanted to integrate it into a SQL Server database table. But an excellent way to quickly get started with a free and simple date table. All right. Okay, so the next feature I want to show you is the Windows Azure Marketplace. And what this is it's an online market for buying and selling data. So you might be asking yourself, what does this have to do with Excel? So the Azure Marketplace allows you to integrate additional data sets that don't normally exist in, let's say, your corporate data warehouse that lets you analyze your data in different ways. So, for example, you could take a look at your sales numbers and analyze them by, say, demographics data or by weather data. Also, if you're just starting out with business intelligence, as I mentioned before, kind of that cornerstone is either a date or a time dimension, and you can also get that from the Azure Marketplace. So let's take a look at this. We'll browse the Azure Marketplace, we'll load some data in, and we'll work on also filtering a feed as well. Okay, so I'm sure the next question is going to be, is this for Excel 2010 or 2013? And the answer is both. The Azure Marketplace isn't actually an Excel feature. It's a service outside of Excel. But you can integrate that data, you can bring it down into Excel in either 2010 or 2013. So the way you do that is you're going to go over to your Data tab on the ribbon, and you're going to select Get External in the Get External Data section from Other Data Sources, and we're going to say from the Windows Azure Marketplace. So now you would either need a link or a file, or you could click this button here to say Find Data Feed. So that's going to open up a web browser, and it's going to take you to the Windows Azure Marketplace. You'd have to register for this. You can get a free account, which I've already done and signed into here. And then you can see all the different data sets that are available from these different categories here on your left-hand side. So from right here, you can see that I've actually subscribed to 2 different data sets, the Occupational Employment Statistics for 2011, as well as this date stream feed that I'll show you a little later. But you can see there's other categories out here. There's things on, let's see, Science and Statistics category. We can see things, geez, look at this, London Borough Profiles, Local Authority Average Rents. Just a lot of interesting things that you can search out here. Business and Finance category, let's see what's in there. So we have, geez, they plot UK ATM locations. There's global address verification that you can get from Dun & Bradstreet. You can get data for GDP for per capita by state. All sorts of interesting things that are out here that you could integrate into your data marts. So that's where you'd go. Let's take a look at the 2 that I've already subscribed to, specifically the date stream app. There we go. So let's click on one and let's see what it looks like. So I'm going to click this button here, or this link, Explore this data set. And what it's going to do is it's going to actually pop up an Excel add-in for the browser, and we're going to see what the actual data looks like. So you can see here the various data sets that are available from the bottom here. So right now I'm on the basic calendar English, and I can see the various columns that are made up in that data set. You can actually click drop downs and see what's in there as well. So that's a basic calendar. There's also ones for different, Italian, Turkish, but also there's time ones as well. And that's why I typically refer to it as a date dimension and not a time dimension, because there's also, you could actually analyze your data by time, by morning, by afternoon, by evening, AM, PM, whatever it is. So I'm interested